And here it is. We are wrapping up a huge 3 days with a final just ahead of us. And as you can see there, Phil Taylor, he defeated the homegrown hero there, Kyle Anderson, then went on to defeat Gary Anderson as well, and is meeting James Wade in the finals there. And for James Wade, an emphatic win over Peter Wright, snakebite, and then he met Michael Van Gerwen. Wow, didn't that go down to the wire? That was unbelievable. And James Wade is making it into the final to face Phil Taylor. Now, talking about James Wade here, we mentioned it before, he got to the final of the World Match Play this year, had a really great result there, and he got married. Do you think he's a little bit more relaxed? He's on his honeymoon here in Perth. Do you think maybe he's just playing with a little bit more ease?
Well, I think he is. I mean, like you say, when you beat Phil Taylor in the semi-final of the match play and then go on, you're in the final, you're on a high straight away. Then he's got the marriage and he's got all that out the way. And coming off that, he comes out to Australia with his new wife. And of course, that's going to relax you. And I think that's proven in James Wade, the way he beat Peter Wright, which was, he blew him away, to be quite honest. And then what he did, that professional job on Michael Van Gerwen, it all shows that James Wade's in a very good mood, and perhaps he's throwing darts for fun. And the one thing about all dart players, when you haven't got tension in your body, your action's a lot better, and certainly James Wade's action's as good as it's ever been.
Rod, I've got to say that what I picked up on what you said then was that you said that he got the marriage out of the way. Done and dusted.
Yeah, get him out of the way.
Now, talking about Phil Taylor, he would have been in the room then watching that match. What would he have taken from that?
Well, Phil Taylor doesn't really take anything from matches because he knows the other players inside out. He's played James Wade so many times, as we keep mentioning, you know, he lost him in the match play. I want to put that right. But what Phil Taylor knows, he knows how to throw brilliant darts at crucial times in games, and that's when he gets in front of people. And as I said, James Wade has got to turn it around. He's got to do those 124s, 104s. That's where James Wade can win this final. He needs to take out checkouts at just over the 100.
Well, the moment is here. Who is going to be crowned the 2015 Tab Touch Perth Darts Masters champion? That is coming up next. Will it be Phil the Power Taylor or James Wade?
Hello and a very warm welcome back to the wonderful city of Perth, Australia! Down Under Events proudly presents the grand final of the Tab Touch Perth Darts Masters, all part of the BDC's World Series of Darts. Well, sports fans, a moment we've all been waiting for is here. So let's meet the finalists.
Lots of power behind the mic right now. Over to you, Stuart Pike and Rod Harrington.
Thank you very much. Phil Taylor looking to maintain his 100% record in World Series events here in Australia. James Wade is appearing in his first ever World Series final. Phil Taylor won in Sydney in 2013. He won in Perth and in Sydney 12 months ago. And here he is again. This is the 9th World Series tournament since the concept was born back in 2013. Up until now, Taylor's won 4, Michael Van Gerwen has won 4, but James Wade put a stop to any hopes Van Gerwen had at adding to his tally with that sensational win in a last leg decider in a dramatic semi-final. Right, James Wade has had 15 minutes rest. Phil Taylor has had an hour and a half since he beat Gary Anderson. Who has the advantage, Rod Harrington?
Well, sometimes you would say that, but in James Wade comes out of the gate very quickly, and then you would say that the adrenaline is still running high after beating Michael Van Gerwen. It all depends how these first 7 legs go up to the first commercial break. But sometimes, if you have had an hour and a half break, you know, the adrenaline, it drains from your body, then you've got to get up for it. So it may be hard for Phil Taylor to get going from the get-go, but if James Wade is still hanging off the ceiling, as we call it, then certainly he may start the quickest.
Wade was never behind against Michael van Gerwen at any stage. He missed some doubles in the latter stages. He missed 3 darts to actually win the match 10-7, James Wade, and then saw van Gerwen take out 124 to force that deciding leg. Van Gerwen had the darts in that 19th leg, but Wade hit a brilliant 180 to set up the victory chance. And double 12 got the job done, but it really was impressive from James Wade, who has previously lost in 3 World Series semi-finals. So here he is with a chance to make his mark and win a World Series event. Just a couple of weeks after he produced a breathtaking performance to beat Taylor in the semi-finals of the World Match Play in Blackpool.
Well, there's a big similarity between the 2 games. When he beat Taylor in the semi-finals of match plays you've just mentioned, and the previous match when he beat Van Gerwen. I mean, both times he didn't make many mistakes. You know, really did step up, as you see Phil Taylor get the first maximum of the match. However, he went on and didn't perform in the final of the match play, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. He needs to perform here. It could be his first World Series win. Well, Wade here
46
to break Phil Taylor's throw in the first leg. Shanghai on 20s. It's one the professionals like a lot and normally get a shot at the double top. Now this is where we're going to find out if James Wade has come out the gate quick enough. That's answered that question, Stuart.
Well, that was brilliant. He crucially broke Michael van Gerwen in the opening leg of the semi-final, and it set the tone, but he's now got to hang on to his throw, which he didn't do in the early stages of the semi-final. Saw a plethora of breaks, didn't we? 1-0, first to 11 to win the title here in Perth.
47.
No chance there for Taylor to punish the bad score of Wade, and he's not done it, so surely he's going to find a treble 20 from those 2. Just put up between the flights. 6 darts without a treble from Wade. So he takes out the 120 to win the first leg, and he's literally handing back leg 2.
Punishing.
125.
Come on, Wade!
Well, finally a treble, but you would think Taylor with the advantage in this second leg. Taylor beating Michael van Gerwen 11-9 in the Perth final 12 months ago. The first leg of this World Series triple header. We head to Sydney, then Auckland, and the World Series finals in Scotland in November in Glasgow.
Yes, with the top-ranked 8 players from this World Series events, all 5, as Taylor misses the treble on it. They'll be joined by 16 qualifiers from around the world.
Disappointing leg this after that brilliant 120 to take the opening leg from James Wade. Double 18 for Taylor. No mistake this time. James Wade in that leg only has himself to blame after that brilliant start. Well, impressive in his semi-final win over Gary Anderson. Taylor hits another maximum. He really does mean business again here in Australia. He was 5-4 down to Anderson and won 6 straight legs in the semi-finals. Taylor has actually beaten Anderson in all 3 of our World Series semi-finals so far this year, and he's looking at something special.
Don't believe you missed that, did you? I mean, great camera angle there to show you exactly how big the treble 20 bed looked for Phil Taylor. And you can put those in the middle of a polo.
140 minimum requirement you would feel here for James Wade. He wants a challenge in this leg. Well, he left 121 in the last leg and didn't get a shot at it. Taylor taking out 93. Is it going to happen again? 8-8 for Taylor. Right in the middle.
Well, a 12 dart leg with the throw. It's not impossible to beat, but virtually.
55.
In the early stage of this final, if you want to see some more darts and you're in the Sydney area, don't forget the Sydney Darts Masters starts next Thursday. Qantas Credit Union Arena.
140.
Another disappointing start to the leg on his own throw for James Wade.
136.
I have to say that Taylor has looked pretty much focused, hasn't he, from the first dart back on Friday.
Yes, it was a bit of a scare early on in the week when Phil come down with a bit of a tummy bug, but certainly no signs of any illness whatsoever.
Yeah, spent his 55th birthday in bed, ill.
137.
Well, the last 3 legs, James Wade has left just over the 100 and not got back to the board. Taylor needs the treble 18. Well, he's not going to do it this time, so Wade will come back to the board, and he needs to take this out. 110, he's one of the best players in the game, at just over the 100 on the checkout. Well, he stayed on the treble 20 because he had more or less line and length. He does like to pitch the dart over another one. But 68 for Taylor, may only get 1 dart at a double.
Yeah.
3 consecutive legs for Phil Taylor. James Wade was waiting, was hoping. That second dart was a perfect guide for Taylor, and he followed it in. So Taylor here to take charge of this final after losing the opening leg.
Well, his last 3 winning legs, 93, 86 and 68, all clean.
60.
Is the difference. James Wade just missing 110, and now this is a problem. James Wade needs to break the throw of Phil Taylor. Because Taylor, to be quite honest, when he gets in front, not very often does he get pegged back.
In the history of the World Series, we've seen Van Barneveld, Peter Wright, Simon Whitlock, Stephen Bunting, Michael van Gerwen, all losing finals. But we've only seen Michael van Gerwen and Phil Taylor win World Series finals, and Taylor at the moment in charge here in Perth.
Well, Taylor's average just over the 101. James Wade
under 96. Going to have to see at least 6 or 7 points on that average, and pretty soon.
Russ can't see the darts.
85.
We'll switch again. Doesn't like that lie. Phil Taylor.
134.
His defeat to James Wade, he could have no complaints at the World Match Play, because Wade was exceptional on that occasion against Taylor to end his run,
100.
his 8-year
Will we require 130?
winning run at the World Match Play. But again, Wade is only left with a ton-plus finish. Taylor looking at double 5.
125.
Well, he's missed, but it's still a big shot for James Wade. He's had chances of 110. Now he's going to get a dart at least at the bullseye. Bullseye it is, and needs to find the bullseye just outside, but close is not good enough for James Wade, because the way Phil Taylor on 50% of his doubles, the one goes in, and the percentage says that one of these 2 darts will find the double for a 4-1 lead.
Game shot on Phil Taylor.
That's cruel. It's a real blow for James Wade. Not cruel for Taylor, of course. Again, that last dart in hand, and Wade left waiting. But Wade in this match has been left with 120,
60.
110, 121 twice, and 124. That's all that Wade has been left with as far as finishing is concerned against Taylor.
Well, that shows that he's 1 dart in each leg away from doing anything. Taylor's 3rd maximum of the match. Yes, he's got to step it up a little bit, Wadey. That 1 dart just brings him down to 1 treble to well under the 100, which is going to give him a better chance to take the shot out for obvious reasons.
Well, sometimes on these big darting days where players have to play 2 or 3 matches, you see the player who wins the second semi-final come out really fired up and eventually goes on to win the final, but not on this occasion. The rest has certainly done Phil Taylor the power of good, and James Wade finding it difficult, I think emotionally as well and mentally, to follow on and back up his brilliant performance to beat when he beat Van Gerwen in the semis.
Well, Stuart, what we've also got to mention is that Phil is the elder statesman of all the dart players, 55 years old. And although these are an awful lot younger, so endurance-wise, it should be the youngsters that can handle the
require 87.
The mental approach and the physical approach.
It's one-way traffic in this final.
51.
No harm, no foul. Just Wade, of course, can't finish. And Phil Taylor, at the moment in this final,
95.
at his ruthless best.
Will we require 36? Game shown
5 legs to 1. Phil Taylor leads the final of the Perth Masters. And now it's looking at a bit of a problem for James Wade. You don't see Taylor let this lead go very often over. It doesn't matter what distance we're talking about either.
No, and at the moment, you just feel that James Wade hasn't got much left in the tank.
136.
Won the opening leg with a terrific 120 finish, but one-way traffic since. 5 on the spin from Taylor. Dominant.
119.
Apart from the tops that he hit in the opening leg to win it, James Wade has only had 1 more dart to win a leg, and that was at the Bull for a 124.
Yes, as I said, he's at least one dart away, or one treble 20 away in every single leg at the moment. And you know that Taylor, on 102.5 average, is going to keep this average up right the way across the board, leg on leg. He may go up, he certainly won't come down that much.
100.
Not happening, is it? For James Wade.
92.
Just looks very comfortable, doesn't he? The air of a man who knows he's going to win. That's what it feels like at the moment. So for a sixth consecutive leg and a 6-1 lead.
16. James, you require 130.
Half a chance, but that's all for James Wade. Well, it should get at least a dart at a bull. He'll have a dart at double 5 instead to get himself back in this final. Oh, terrific. Well, that just puts a little bit of a different complexion on it. James Wade, after Phil Taylor missed 3 darts to go 6-1 up, has kept himself in the final. He's taken out 120 and 130, but Wade still has it all to do. Phil Taylor leads the final in Perth, race to 11 by 5 legs to 2. The final of the 2015 Perth Darts Masters, and Phil Taylor leading 5-2 against James Wade. 2 top-plus finishes for Wade to keep him in it. For the moment, Taylor is dominant. He took out Gary Anderson in the semis. James Wade with a last leg decider to beat Michael van Gerwen. I wonder whether James Wade has any petrol left in the tank. We shall see. He has it all to do to stop Taylor winning back-to-back titles in Perth and a 5th World Series crown. Next darts on the World Series Tour in Sydney, starting on Thursday. And of course we go to Auckland. Paul Nicholson has joined me in the commentary box, and impressive thus far yet again from Philip Taylor.
Yes, it is impressive, and I don't think he's played his best darts in this final yet, and he's still averaging over 100. He seems to do that on quite a regular basis when he plays a sort of Phil average game. His average game is 100. Wade is definitely going to have to lift his game. He's gone back to his 94 type average, which he had in the first 2 games of this tournament. He did lift his game against Michael van Gerwen, definitely, but he's going to have to lift that average by at least 6 or 7 to have a chance in this final.
Well, this is better. You've been in and around the practice room. What's the word after the semi-finals?
Well, Michael van Gerwen left the building pretty quick. He generally does do that. Sometimes he wants a little bit of privacy just to go away and regroup. Wade never really shows his emotion whether he wins or loses. He knows that he had another game to come, and he went up there with a really good focus, in my opinion. Just hasn't really lit the touch paper yet, but there's a long way to go in this final. We're only halfway, really. Not even halfway.
Yeah, there's no doubt Michael van Gerwen was hurting. No one likes losing. I think he was hugely disappointed with the manner of his performance, but you have to say the better man won. That's why James Wade is in the final. That's a great setup.
138. Phil, you require 100.
He's definitely in this leg, but Taylor 129, 110 left, only one route, and that's 61st. Not on this occasion, so he has to try and set it up. Does so for tops, but Wade on tops already for 5-3. 5-3 it is. Closes that 3-leg gap to 2. I believe that when he was 5-2 down, that's pretty much as what the kind of lead he could give Taylor. Any more than that, and he may have already been out of this final. A Very, very important hold.
100.
Well, he's 1-2 on the spin. We remember at the final in Japan when Taylor was 7-2 up against Peter Wright, and Wright won 5 on the spin to force a deciding leg, which Taylor, of course, eventually won. But Taylor got the collywobbles, didn't he?
Incredible word, the collywobbles.
100.
Every now and then you do see that Phil Taylor is human, and he has said on this trip he is getting older. It does get harder as you get older. It's remarkable that he's still at this level at the age of 55. It's very encouraging for every dart player in the world, knowing that you could go as long as he has. For you guys at home, a little trivia for you. What's the oldest age someone has been in the World Championships?
140.
I take it you already know the answer.
I certainly do, Stuart.
I'll let you reveal it in a little while.
100.
Yeah, but I mean,
require 160.
to test Taylor's endurance, not many, if any, get to this stage and this age and still play to this standard.
Absolutely. I was talking to some people on Periscope the other night, and we were talking about fitness in darts. The one thing that Phil Taylor has in his locker is that he's incredibly darts fit, which is exactly what you need to be a fantastic advocate for the sport over the 30 years he's been in this game.
Mentally,
65.
there's no one stronger.
Failure required.
I couldn't agree more. It's that dodgy line, double 12 again. Can he hit it this time? It's even dodgier now. Double 12 it is for 6-3, and a fantastic adjustment.
Wade was left on a possible 2-dart finish there. That was a great last dart from Phil Taylor,
97.
who won in Sydney in 2013. He won in Perth and Sydney in 2014, and he's already won in Japan on the World Series Tour this year.
It was funny yesterday, Stuart, that he was doing an interview with Paul Gow, and he said he was thinking about moving to Perth. He likes it here so much. He definitely likes Australia. He just comes here and he doesn't get defeated. Might be having words with Barry Hearn and all the guys at the PDC about moving some of the tournaments over here a little bit more of a regular basis. You never know.
60.
Wade has got to start hitting more trebles. I think his first start was letting him down in the first half of this game. He really needs to start capitalising on a really good first start, which he had on that occasion, and walked away with only a 1 treble score.
He's only had 4 darts and a double, James Wade. He's hit 3 of them. So he's taken his chances. And the one he missed was at the bull.
I think the key now is just to give himself some more chances. James Wade's biggest strength in darts is hitting his doubles.
140.
He's not really renowned as a power scorer. He's renowned as a very consistent 140 hitter, and he takes his shots.
Consistency is the word, is the key for James Wade to his darting success over the years.
60. Change required.
But don't forget, he was 5-1 down. He's hanging on in there. Don't often see James Wade on this side of the board, but the result's the same. 86 checkout, 6-4.
He'll do very nicely to get it back to 6-4. Taylor on throw though. If he holds his throw, it'll be 7-4. Taylor in command. This is where he wants to be. He wants to be in front. He feels more comfortable in front. James won't be phased though. He's played Phil so many times in different formats. He will have been in this situation before.
Yeah, and he's beaten him a few times as well, crucially in TV events. He went a long time not beating Taylor in a TV ranking tournament. Of course, had that brilliant victory in the World Grand Prix last October.
Absolutely.
And that set the tone, really. He's beaten him in the Premier League on a number of occasions. I think it was James Wade who ended Phil Taylor's 44-match winning run in the Premier League when it started all the way back in 2005. He was unbeatable for so many years. Of course, that epic Premier League final between Taylor and Wade, the difference between the two players was only, I'd say only, 2 9-darters from Phil Taylor.
Well, that was the difference that night. I remember watching that match from home and being amazed at what I was watching. The funny thing was, he could have had 3 9-darters that night. I also remember when James beat Phil in that match in the Premier League with a wonderful 138 finish on double 9.
Yeah.
So Wade is coming back for 161.
97.
What a way to really get yourself back in the match.
161.
He will know that this will be a real catalyst if he can hit this. Not on this occasion though, he'll want to set it up nicely. Probably going to switch, that's a bit of a dodgy lie.
44.
Not what James Wade wanted to hear, 44. But Phil Taylor will want to hear game shot from Russ Braze. He looks at double 6.
Game shot, the 11th.
So there we have it, 7-4. Phil Taylor edges closer to another title here in Perth. Really important dart, and again, as Phil Taylor does more than any other player, last dart in hand, and that's what he did there. So, Paul Nicholson posed the question a short time ago, the oldest player ever to appear in a World Championship, and the answer is?
Any ideas, Stu?
Go on.
John McGowan.
Yeah, John McGowan, the Irishman.
The age of 68, and that is quite remarkable when you think about it. That's 13 years older than Phil Taylor is now, so perish the thought, dart players. He could still be around in another 13 years.
74.
Brilliant switch to the treble 18. 174. He's still in this.
As long as he doesn't let him get too close to that magical 11. He's still in this. But Taylor turning the screw. Got to leave a finish at this visit. Doesn't want to leave 167.
60.
Fortunately, he has on this occasion. He wanted to be leaving at least 87. A 2-darter he wanted. Phil needing the switch now. Bit of a slip from Phil, so a chance for Wadey. Again, it's one of those 160 plus outshots. This time he's got the first dart. Not the second one. A very nice loose 3rd dart to set up the double.
Failure require 123.
Well, you think if Taylor takes this out, it'll be a match-winning finish. Double 9 to break Wade and break Wade's heart. He has taken out 123. That was quite brilliant. James Wade in that leg did all he could. He'd left himself on a finish, and that could be it. That could be it. As Taylor now 2 legs away from back-to-back Perth titles.
That really did have the feel about a finish that he made against Kyle Anderson last night.
Well,
timing.
In many ways as well, that was the Taylor of old in that leg. Wade took total control with a 174. Taylor right back at him with a 180. Wade leaving a 1-dart finish. Taylor taking out 123.
I absolutely agree with that. Knowing firsthand, you know, some of the finish that Phil really does pull out in great moments like that. It was an aggressive finish too. For 123, you're thinking to yourself, you've got to go 19s. You've hit the treble 19, you've got 66. You know, people want to go for the 16 to guarantee the bullseye, but he knew that he was playing well. He knew he was throwing well, so he went for the treble 16 to give himself that bigger segment of double 9, and it came off absolutely perfectly. Noticed another change of colour in his flights, albeit a smaller one.
136.
Liking the white ones though, the way he's playing tonight.
Taylor averaging 101. Wade has picked his game up. 100 average, 4 out of 5 on the doubles, but at the moment, not good enough to challenge Taylor.
In some senses, I think Phil's playing a very Wadey-like game. Quite patient, taking his chances, not really setting the world alight, He was on 101 average, which is excellent darts. But he played much better with a higher average in the semi-final. But this is a very workmanlike performance, picking his spots and taking his spots. Very resigned look on Wadey's face there, as if to say, this might not be my night.
Well, he left himself a great chance here to break Taylor and get back in it, but surely he's not going to follow a 1-2-3 with a 1-2-8. I don't think so now.
I remember last year when he was playing in the Sydney Masters, he loved the 128 finish. He hit it twice in a row, but he went for the treble 14 on the second dart on those occasions. I'm surprised he didn't do that on this occasion. By not hitting the second treble, he's left Wadey with 60.
Yep, Taylor at the moment 3 legs away, of course, first to 11, and James Wade with a break. We've had 7 breaks of throw in this final, you know. James Wade has actually broken Taylor 3 times.
He's not going away, is he? He might be starting to annoy Phil just a little bit with these breaks of throw. A perfect start to his leg.
He won't give up, he'll still believe, as he has to, James Wade. He has the talent, he has the ability to get back into this final, and if he just holds throw here to go in at the break, just 2 behind, remember he was 5-1 down, just give Phil Taylor something to think about yet again.
Absolutely. And how many times have we said it? Happy dart players away from the board make good dart players. James, a very happy man at the moment, newly married.
100.
Seems like a very calm James Wade. Got a really nice demeanour at the moment. Lots of belief in his ability. Got a lot of good people around him who are giving him confidence.
There's one of them. Mrs. Wade, Sammy. So, 6 darts for 161 for James Wade.
He simply has to have this leg in the bag after 6 darts.
65.
Earlier in the semi-final, he went for the bullseye and had a bounce out. Hasn't been deterred. He's left 96 this occasion. I feel like he's going to have to take this out. Needs to switch to 19s now.
59.
Slack visit.
James will require 90.
So where he may get 6 at 96, but he'll want to take it away on this occasion. That's quite a nice slide. Just put it over the top, just like that. Double 8 for 8-6.
88.
Very close, right on the wire.
Phil will require 100.
Well, that 123 check out from Taylor in the 12th leg. It was a real body blow for Wade, but James will return now.
58.
And Taylor almost throwing the darts away in resignation in this leg. And James Wade is still in this final. First to 11 to win the Perth Darts Masters. Wade was 5-1 down. A little wave. And a little spring in his step as well. He's back in business. He's playing well. 8-6, Taylor leads in the final in Perth. Welcome back to the Perth Darts Masters final, where James Wade is back in business. From 5-1 down, he has fought really, really hard, and in a race to 11 to win the event, Wade has given himself a chance. He really has upped his game. Taylor and Wade both averaging 100. It's Phil Taylor, courtesy of a 1-2-3 finish in the 12th leg, who has the edge. The World Series heads to Sydney next week, starting on Thursday, and then we go to Auckland, remember, at the end of August, and the World Series finals will take place in Scotland, in Glasgow, in November. 8-6 Taylor. Can Wade do this?
Wade can definitely do this. He's going to really have to get a big start. He needs to take this first leg, I think. If you look at the scoreboard, and you've got Taylor 9, 2 legs away, and Wade having to get another 5. Doesn't look good, but 8-7 looks much better.
Just one break of throw behind. 7 legs won against the throw in this final. 4 by Taylor, 3 by Wade.
It's been a big key tonight, hasn't it, Stuart? There's been a lot of breaks of throw.
Well, there was in the semi-finals as well.
100.
That Van Gerwen Wade game, the first 5 legs were won against throw.
There's a few breaks of throw in the Gary Anderson Phil Taylor game as well. Starting a bit slowly.
55.
Chance here, you know.
Getting a bit tense up there, I think.
Yeah, 6 darts from Taylor without a big treble.
Interestingly enough, during the break, Phil back on stage way before James. Throwing some darts, trying to get some rhythm.
That will be disappointing for Wade, won't it? Having seen Taylor start this leg poorly. Still. That's better from Taylor. Just wonder whether Wade has missed a trick. We shall see. Needs a big visit here to put pressure on Taylor. Force Taylor to perhaps start making some more mistakes. Great. Well, that is pressure. What a good switch that was.
Back in the leg now. Absolutely. Taylor going high in the first dart, which he doesn't prefer.
Thank you.
Well, Taylor doing the right thing. Stepping back. Really is a crucial moment in the final.
97.
Not a bad visit, but Wade in control, really. If he can hit a 60 with the first or second dart. Needs a 60. Absolutely needs a 60.
60.
Not that kind of 60.
Best of order, please.
Sure, Taylor distracted. But yeah, Wade, he's hit in this leg. He's had 2 visits of 60, hasn't he? And that is what has cost him ultimately.
When the stakes are this high, 60s just aren't good enough.
120. James, you require 147.
Here's the Ronnie O'Sullivan shot. Perfect start. What a finish this would be. Oh, only just outside.
132. 22.
Well, miscounted there, James Wade. Double 19 for Taylor. That's okay. It's a good lie for him. That's still okay if he uses the barrel. Well, again, last dart in hand. James Wade will be sick of the sight of him. But it's a crucial leg. A big hold from Taylor.
Absolutely gargantuan hold. Like you said, Stu, the first dart, decent lie. Second dart, brilliant lie. Third dart was always going to go in. But that third dart disease, when you're standing behind a player, and
what is it like?
58.
Horrific.
Yeah.
You know, you just think, oh, he's giving me a chance. Then he misses again. You think, oh, he's giving me another chance. And you just feel sick in your stomach when they hit it with the third one.
140.
Well, still in it, James Wade. Taylor, of course, won the ball in the practice room, so Wade effectively has to break not once but twice. And you'll find it difficult to Taylor keep producing shots like that. 5th 180 from Taylor.
Here we go, Wade, back in it. 140 is a good score at this juncture. Not really good counting from Phil there.
59.
Should really have gone downstairs on the second dart.
Well, he won't go for the 1-2-1 with Taylor back on 204.
81.
And that's why leaving tops.
When you're on 204, you're thinking nothing else but 180, but 160 will, 140 will put a little bit of pressure on.
James, you require 40.
3 darts in hand for tops. Best double 10 shooter in the world. There it is, right there.
James Wade. 17.
Well, from 5-1 down, he's done terrifically well, James Wade, to stay in this final. He has to break Taylor here, has to.
It's a must.
100.
You'll be thinking, match him. Get a 140.
Unlucky with the first dart. But Phil Taylor has won in the World Series.
60.
Sydney twice, in Perth and in Japan. Is he going to win here in Western Australia yet again, as we head to New South Wales and Sydney on Thursday?
Wadey's prayers were answered when Taylor's previous visit was only 60 points. He didn't really take advantage of it. Brilliant comeback from Phil. And that really meant something. He knows how important this leg is. Great 140 from James. Taylor's got 6 darts in hand from 161. 84 left. It's a nice little setup. But if Wadey's got a 140 in him here, he puts pressure on Phil's shot in a big, big way.
64 to take him to the verge of victory, needing one more leg if he can win this one. Double 16 then. Clinical. And look how he's done it. Last dart in hand. Taylor leads, one away from another title in Perth.
The theme of the night, last darts and double 16s. That's been the key to his success this evening. He's only one leg away from another World Series event victory in Australia. Has never been beaten in the World Series in Australia. And if he does win this match, he's going to go to Sydney with a lot of confidence to defend his Sydney Masters title as well.
100.
Clinical. Again from Taylor.
It's looking very ominous now, isn't it, Stuart? James playing a very measured game, but there's just been too many little loose darts. He will probably critique this performance and say, not enough power scoring.
Yet he's still averaging 100, but in his finishing, 70% James Wade, his checkout success rate. But yeah, you have the feeling that Taylor is just one dart ahead.
And that's all it takes, just one dart. Every leg, that extra 60, that extra 57. Giving yourself just that extra shot at the end, and they've been the difference. This could be it. 126. Not on this occasion.
58.
Last chance saloon for James. He's hit many 141s in his career. Hit lots of 9 darters with this shot. It's not there, and he's disgusted with himself. So Taylor's coming back for 68 to seal victory.
He'll require 68
for the title in Perth for a second consecutive year. And Phil Taylor wins back-to-back Perth titles. James Wade beaten 11-7 in his first World Series final, but Phil Taylor dominant yet again. His 5th World Series title since the concept was born in 2013, and Taylor remains unbeaten in Australia. He's won twice in Sydney, now he's won twice in Perth, and he will head to Sydney looking to make it 6 of the very best. But Phil Taylor, the champion again in Perth.
Absolutely, that unbeaten streak is really starting to sound very, very sweet to Phil. He's going to go to Sydney next week. Really, really chipper. But he can't wait to get his hands on that trophy. He loves the feel of that trophy, loves the fact that he's going to get his photograph taken with another title.
Yeah, James Wade didn't get a real go. He came back from 5-1 down to make a real game of it. There were a couple of pivotal moments when Taylor took out 123 to win the 12th leg against the darts, but Wade, look, averages 99 apiece. James Wade on the doubles, absolutely terrific. You just had the feeling. It's time for the presentation. Let's go live to the stage and join our MC, John McDonald.
Ladies and gentlemen, a thrilling final as always. And now it's time for the presentation. And would you please welcome the Chief Executive of the Professional Darts Corporation, Matthew Porter, and on behalf of our title sponsors, Tap Touch, Matthew De Angelis. So, ladies and gentlemen, the runner-up receiving $30,000 and the trophy, and it goes to the machine, James Wade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. The winner, still undefeated in Australia, winning $60,000, the magnificent trophy, and for the second time, he's crowned the Tap Touch Perth Darts Masters Champion 2015, Phil the Power Taylor.
Phil, you're like a fine bottle of wine. You're just getting better with age. How was that?
It was a struggle towards the end. I was getting, I don't know, my mind was wandering. I don't know why, but I don't know. But got there in the end.
James put some pressure on there, but just cool as a cucumber.
I hit the right 180 at the right time. I was looking and thinking, if you don't hit to 180, he's going to, next thing you know, he's going back to 80. It was that close.
Now tell me, what's it mean to win again? It's like you've got a monopoly on this event in Perth.
I'm over the moon. I'm speechless, really. I mean, it's not very like me, for not be stuck for words, but I am. I'm over the moon. I really am.
And did this Perth crowd help you?
Did they help me? A little bit.
You had a formidable opponent tonight in James Wade. James, come across. It was great to get through to the final tonight. You just come up against a 16-time world champion. You know, you stuck it to him there. How was it?
No, like I said, I did get stuck in, but, Phil didn't play it as he can there, which I'm quite grateful. But, to be involved in a final when the top 8 players come over here, you can't ask for more than that. And I'm grateful for all the crowd, their participant in the game. You can't ask for more. And I'm very, very grateful to be invited and take part in this competition.
Thanks, James. Now, looking to next week for Sydney, you must be pretty confident going in there, last year winner.
He's happy. He's getting a free honeymoon, aren't you? Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sydney next week. I think the weather's going to be lovely again, same as Perth. So, move on and just enjoy it while you can.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Tap Touch 2015 Perth Darts Masters Champion.
Him, don't we? There really is only one Phil Taylor. That was a really emphatic result. He came, he held his lead, and he just maintained it all the way through to the end.
Yes, I think what happened, James Wade, after winning the semi-final, only getting perhaps 20 minutes, sometimes it works for you, but it didn't work for Phil Taylor, because what he did, for James Wade, because he let Phil Taylor get 2 or 3 legs up, and then he never got it back. Phil was always in command. And in leg 12, he took out 123, and that could have been a turning point for James Wade. But when he took out the 1, 2, 3, it just kept Phil in front, and he went on and won it.
And you said it in the commentary as well, James just had a little bit of trouble with his finishing.
Yes, I think what happened, like I said, when he had just 20 minutes to turn around, that went against him. Sometimes, as I said, it goes for you, but that went against him. And when you let Phil Taylor get 2 or 3 legs in front, he is the hardest man in the world to peg back. And James kept hanging on in there, but it just didn't happen for him.
Now look at Phil Taylor. He wins here this year in Perth. Clean sweep of Australia. I mean, they mentioned up there before, he must be feeling pretty confident going to Sydney next.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Phil Taylor is a confidence player. And he's going to feel lucky. He's going to think that Australia is a lucky place for him. May even buy a house here now, knowing Phil. But it is. It's all about confidence, self-belief in your own ability. And at the moment, I mean, after the match play, you know, he was on a bit of a downer. But what he's done is bounce straight back on the next tournament and come out the winner.
Yeah, the only way is up for Phil Taylor. He is just like that fine bottle of wine. Well, all of the action continues at the Sydney Darts Masters, which kicks off next Thursday.